Welcome to another Vocal Labs training webinar. This training webinar we will be going over how to make adjustments and fine-tune your hearing instrument. In this situation we are working with, well, I'm simulating both sides, and you can tell that we're simulating by the simulation right here. If I had the actual product detected, that word would not be there. But this webinar we're covering what you would do in an instance where you are trying to make adjustments to a hearing instrument. You've already done your initial fitting and auto-fit the hearing instruments to the patient's audiograms. So when the patient comes back in, or if there are any problems, there are a number of ways that you can go and manually make adjustments with the Vocal Labs fitting software. Down below the response, you can go to the EQ bands. You can adjust each frequency individually. You can highlight them all and adjust them all together. Or you could do any subset that you want by checking a few boxes and then controlling the all button. You can also go into your I/O, your compression settings. You can change the compression ratios for each channel. Then you can click on this tab and change the thresholds of each channel, the number being the level that you want the channel to start compressing. Beeps, etc., you can make those changes, but those should have probably been done on your initial fit. So if your patient comes in and you need to make adjustments and you feel comfortable doing it, you can go do it all manually here. But what Vocal Labs recommends is we have put a fitting wizard into your software for you, this little magic wand that you see right here. If you click on the fitting wizard, it brings up the wizard window. Now you have to do this for each side. Right now I'm working with the right side instrument. When you bring up the wizard, it gives you a number of different options available. Now, these options may not be worded exactly the way your patient is telling you. Like, I had a patient one time complaining of the dog's nails rattling on the hardwood floor. Well, I read through the different options we have here, and for me, dishes rattle too loud kind of was the option that I wanted to pick for that instance. So you have to decipher what your patient is saying and try and find the best option that's available here for you. Like the one here, my voice sounds like my head is plugged up. If I click the plus beside that, it drops down a number of options to take care of that problem. Now, AutoFix at the top. When you highlight AutoFix, if you work with this, it will do each of these things that you see below it. Now, down at the very bottom, you see Increase Vent. Obviously, the software cannot increase the vent size for you, but it is telling you an option that you can try. Now, as far as the other options, decrease low channel band gains, increase low channel compression ratios, and decrease low channel compression thresholds, the software can do all of that. If you hit AutoFix and you go down here, for every time you click Apply, you will see over in the response curves the changes that are made. And every time you click Apply, it will step each of these options one step at a time. You may undo as many steps as you have applied in the first place. When you get back to where you started, undo will unhighlight and you will not be able to click it any further. So when you're making changes in here, keep in mind not to go too far before you close it. Always ask your patient and make sure you don't have to undo, because once you close this application, when you open it again, you will not be able to undo. Even if you pick the same thing you did before, undo will not light up until you apply something again. Okay, so make sure you didn't go too far before you end. If you get in here and you get all way out of whack, you can just hit cancel and close, and the hearing aid will go back to where it was before you opened the fitting wizard in the first place. If you like the changes you have made, just hit close, and it will apply those changes to the device. One thing to keep in mind is by doing this, you can learn what type of things to adjust if you don't know off the top of your head, like circuit noise, whooshing, sound in quiet, increase noise reduction if available. Down here is your noise reduction. We see that is available. Increase low channel band gains, decrease high channel band gains. So you can know for any hearing aid for that matter in any software, if that's a problem, these are options you can do to try and correct the problem. Now if we do auto fix here, every time I click it, you will see that the noise reduction raises. Okay, I may get to a point where the patient is still hearing that whooshing noise in quiet or an air sound in the background, but it may start to cut out other noises. They may say, well, that's gone too far because now I'm cutting out a lot of stuff. Okay, so we want to undo a couple steps. We want to keep our noise reduction where it is, but instead of keeping it on auto fix and doing all of these things, maybe I only want to go down and do the low channel band gains alone a couple clicks, and then decrease the high channel gains alone a couple clicks, so that I'm not affecting the noise reduction at all. By doing auto fix, it does every option at once, but you can also go down and do each option individually. Like I said, if you like what you've done, hit close and it will apply those changes. Hit cancel and close and it will go back to where it was before you open the wizard. Once you're done making adjustments to the device, as always, the patient will hear the changes as you make the changes in the aid or in the software, but it puts it into short-term memory. So before you're done, you can either go to Fitting Tools here and click Program All Valid Sides. That will lock it into long-term memory, but when you're done fitting anything with Vocalab software, go up here to Save and Close and click on it. What it's going to do is automatically save your session, and it's going to ask you if you want to program the device at this time. When you say yes to that, that is what locks it into long-term memory, and then you can unhook the device as you want, and it will keep that program. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope it was helpful.